The teaser details for Beyond the Gates, airing on Thursday, February 12th, center on Leslie seeking advice from Joey about a deeply personal matter. Elsewhere, Ted gets harshly confronted by an ex, while Shanice delivers a blunt lesson to Carlton. Key takeaways to remember. Leslie goes to Joey for help with something extremely private. Does it mean ending up in Joey's bed or not? Ted faces a heated showdown with a former lover. Shanice sharply puts Carlton in his place. Leslie has always been accustomed to controlling everything the way someone controls a light in a sealed room. One snap of her fingers and the atmosphere changes color. Faces shift. And everyone else is forced to move according to her will. To her, Joey has never truly existed as a person within her emotional framework. He has been a resource, a doorway, a wallet capable of unlocking whatever she wants to build for herself and for the image of a woman who lives for the community. That free clinic, on paper and in carefully prepared speeches, is a monument to compassion, a humanitarian legacy, a way for Leslie to stand on moral high ground above the people who once dismissed her. But in the deepest part of Leslie, the clinic is also leverage, an extension of her arm, a shield. A ticket that allows her to survive in a society where she has always felt she must fight for every centimeter of space. She has used Joey like a tireless fundraising ATM, and she has never considered it cruel, because in Leslie's world, anyone who doesn't learn to use others will be the one used. And yet now, Leslie walks up to Joey not for numbers, not for budgets or donor lists, but for something personal, something so important she cannot place it in her daughter's hands, cannot entrust it to her usual allies, and cannot swallow it down the way she has done so many times before. That single act is already a betrayal of Leslie's own controlling nature, a crack in the mirror she studies every morning to reassure herself she is still the one holding the strings. Leslie's anger does not explode loudly. It is more like acid flowing in silence, corroding from the inside. She is furious because she needs someone. She is furious because the gravity of this personal issue weakens her, forces her to admit there is something she cannot calculate like money, cannot negotiate like reputation, cannot organize like a gala. And deeper still, Leslie is furious because she realizes the only person she can trust to keep this secret is Joey, a man she has always looked down on in another realm of life, emotion. That realization unsettles her, because being unsettled means losing control, and losing control is what Leslie despises the way she despises the people who once made her bow her head. Instinct tells her to retreat, but another part of her lunges forward, almost hypnotized by the thought that Joey with his darkness and his practicality might understand what she is hiding without demanding she perform the role of victim or saint. Leslie needs someone who won't demand a morality from her, only the truth in a cold, unsentimental way, and Joey seems to be exactly that kind of man. Joey, meanwhile, looks at Leslie the way one looks at a new fracture appearing in a fortified wall. He agreed to help with fundraising not for Leslie, and certainly not for the clinic, but for Vanessa. Vanessa wanted to turn her grief into something useful, to honor her late husband with a project that could say life continues, that loss does not only breed ruin. Joey said yes for Vanessa, but he is not the kind of man who does charity without conditions attached. He collects everything the way he collects shares in a company, which smiles are fake, which blinks are signals. Who is afraid of what? Who is hiding what? By stepping into the territory of personal with him, Leslie is handing him an invisible asset, her weakness. And right there, a dangerous kind of attraction begins to form without needing to be named. Not the innocent romance of soft longing, but the thrill of power of watching an opponent unlock a private door right in front of you. Joey might help Leslie, maybe even sincerely in some fleeting moment, because he also enjoys the feeling of being the only person chosen to hear something that matters. But at the same time, he will not ignore the opportunity to turn that confession into leverage. The only question is what price he will demand, and who will end up paying it. If Leslie is truly experiencing a kind of lightning strike, it will not feel gentle. It will feel like a punch straight to the chest, something she both hates and wants, both fears and craves. Leslie could be drawn to the fact that Joey doesn't fear her, doesn't worship her, doesn't rush to believe the image he has built. Joey sees through the makeup of power, and that both insults Leslie and makes her feel, in a way she rarely allows herself to admit, seen. She hates that sensation because it pulls her out of performance, yet she longs for it because for so long she has only been seen as a symbol, not as a flawed human being. And that is exactly why Leslie is most likely to make a mistake when someone who has always controlled everything suddenly wants to let go. They often choose the wrong person to trust, then become the victim of their own choice. Meanwhile, Vanessa is fighting on a different battlefield, where the weapon is not money but intimacy. She sits beside Nicole with the posture of a friend who understands, trying to soothe the guilt winding around Nicole like vines tightening at the throat. Vanessa does it with the instincts of someone who has witnessed too much shattering. She believes that if she doesn't keep Nicole from collapsing, Nicole will push herself into a reckless decision, and the broken pieces will cut everyone standing nearby. But Vanessa carries her own tangled anger that Nicole always lives as if she owes someone a debt, anger that Nicole is divorced yet still dragged by her ex's judging gaze, and deeper. Anger because Vanessa understands what it feels like to be trapped between two choices that can both make you the villain. Nicole is dating two men at once, and trouble is blooming like a bruise beneath the skin. One makes her feel safe, offers stability, can lift her when she is weak. The other makes her feel more alive, as if reminding her she still has the capacity to want, to love, to risk. Nicole's guilt may come from both directions, and what is frightening is that both sides seem justified. If her mother, Anita, is facing a health crisis, Nicole may see herself as selfish for chasing fun without strings while her family may be losing a pillar. But if the guilt comes from juggling two relationships, it becomes the guilt of someone who wants freedom yet fears being judged cruel. Nicole hates herself for knowing she is standing on a razor edge, but she refuses to return to the emotional prison of her past. Vanessa comforts her, yet in every piece of advice, Vanessa may accidentally push Nicole toward what Vanessa considers right, rather than what Nicole truly wants. And as in every tragedy like this, the one who gives the advice is not the one who pays the consequences directly, yet they are the one who must live with the guilt when everything collapses. Ted falls into a familiar trap for a man who has always believed he can control other people's emotions, being scolded, exposed, dragged under the spotlight. The anger he receives is not merely personal fury. It is a verdict for all the times he stayed silent, all the times he hid the truth, all the times he assumed he had the right to decide what others should know. Some former lover arrives to unload years of resentment, and what terrifies Ted is not the volume of the confrontation, but the possibility that this person knows what he has been burying. If it is Nicole, it means Nicole feels betrayed by an old secret that has resurfaced, and Ted realizes he may lose even the privilege of being seen as the good man in her eyes. If it is Leslie, the danger is worse. Leslie rarely explodes out of pure emotion. She explodes when interests are threatened, when power is invaded. When a bond between them Ted thought he buried is revealed to still be alive. Ted is yanked between the fractured versions of himself, and in that space, Shanice becomes a perilous force. Shanice is not an ex in the traditional sense, but she holds a different kind of power. Her tough love is like an iron clamp, capable of holding Ted upright or snapping him in half if he resists. Shanice may genuinely want Ted to grow up, to face consequences, to stop running. But she may also be addicted to fixing him, to the intoxicating belief that she alone can change him. And when someone loves by trying to renovate another person, it is easy to slide into manipulation without noticing. Ted wonders whether he loves Shanice, but that question is eclipsed by a darker one. Is he using Shanice as a life raft so he doesn't have to stare straight at his own guilt? If Ted clings to Shanice out of fear of loneliness, he turns love into transaction, and Shanice will feel insulted. Used, then her anger will erupt in ways that are difficult to contain. And if Ted is being pulled into something bigger, he will be the perfect pawn, Too many secrets to remain free, too much pride to fight back wisely. Elsewhere, Haley and Lynette's storyline carries the scent of a war without guns, yet soaked in blood all the same. Randy isn't satisfied with Haley's version of events, and his dissatisfaction isn't just suspicion, it is the fury of someone who feels treated like a tool. Haley claims Lynette lured her into a plan to capture all of Bill's attention, and the plan succeeded. But her story can be both true and false, true on the surface, false in motive. Haley may have been pulled in, or she may have stepped willingly into it out of ambition and hunger to be chosen. Lynette punches Haley and sends her to the hospital, and the image of Bill rushing to Garland Memorial to stand beside his wife becomes proof that Haley still holds power in this marriage. The problem is where Bill was before that, and why he lied. Bill was at Donnie's house, and that lie is like a spark buried beneath wooden floorboards. One wrong step and the whole structure ignites. Haley can use Bill's silence to weave herself into the role of victim, transform Bill into the remorseful husband, and paint anyone who threatens her as an enemy who deserves punishment. Randy cannot help but burn with anger. If Haley is telling the truth, she's an injured prey. But if she's exaggerating or twisting facts, she's weaponizing sympathy to lock Bill down and erase anyone in her way. The engagement ring in Lynette's possession becomes the center of a small but dangerous power struggle. It can be a trophy, evidence, or bait. Lynette is not the kind of person who does anything without purpose. If she holds the ring, she holds control over a piece of the narrative. She may intend to use it as a bargaining chip, to remind Haley that everything she has can be dragged down by a single detail. But it's also possible Haley is lying about Lynette having the ring as a strategy to push Bill into punishing Lynette, sending her back to prison, clearing every threat from the board. In Haley's world, eliminating danger is survival reflex. And she will not hesitate to turn Lynette into a scapegoat if that helps her keep the title of official wife and keep Bill trapped in her arms. Bill, facing this, won't be angry only about the ring. He will be furious about being maneuvered, forced into choosing sides. If Bill is still entangled with Donnie, he will fear Lynette becoming the keeper of proof that can destroy both his image and his power. Fear in Bill easily turns into a kind of legal violence, using the system to crush opponents, putting Lynette behind bars to buy silence, to lock mouths shut, to protect reputation. But doing so also means Bill admits there is something he needs hidden, and Randy will see that more clearly than anyone. Randy is the most dangerous variable because he is not bound to morality or love in the way others pretend to be. Randy is bound to advantage and personal loyalty, and that loyalty can change color the moment he feels insulted. If Randy stands with Haley, it may not be because he believes her, but because he sees benefit in protecting her, or because he wants Bill within his influence. But if Randy aligns with Lynette, it becomes a betrayal that will drive Haley insane, because Haley always assumes she owns the story. Randy may be drawn to Lynette because she is sharp, realistic, uninterested in pretending virtue, and she possesses information Randy might need. A Randy-Lynette alliance would corner Haley, and when Haley is cornered, she will respond in the cruelest way, erase traces, deepen the lies, push Bill into doing dirty work on her behalf, then play the wounded victim to cover it all. Lynette is no innocent either. She may want to expose Haley not for justice, but to prove she is not disposable, to reclaim power, to take revenge for being treated with contempt. The ring is only a symbol. What Lynette truly holds is the right to tell the story in a way that makes others collapse. All these threads intertwine through one common cord: betrayal inside relationships that once seemed defined. Leslie betrays her own law of control by going to Joey for something personal, and may betray Vanessa if she moves too close to him. Joey may betray Vanessa if he turns Leslie into a card to play instead of protecting the peace Vanessa is struggling to build. Vanessa may unintentionally betray Nicole by giving advice that pushes Nicole toward the wrong choice, or by convincing Nicole that guilt should be soothed rather than faced. Nicole may betray both men she's dating through hesitation, and betray herself if she chooses safety only because she fears desire. Ted is betrayed by the secrets he stockpiled, and may betray Shanice if he uses her as his instrument of redemption. Bill betrays Haley by lying about Donnie, and may betray whatever scraps of ethics he has left by throwing Lynette in prison simply to silence her. Haley betrays the truth by turning narrative into weapon. Randy betrays loyalty when advantage calls. Lynette betrays any surface good intention if her real goal is power. And at the center of it all, anger isn't merely emotion, it is a method of hiding fear. Leslie is angry because she fears losing control. Joey is angry because he fears being used. Vanessa is angry because she fears someone she cares for will self-destruct. Nicole is angry because she fears becoming the person she once was. Ted is angry because he fears exposure. Bill is angry because he fears discovery. Haley is angry because she fears losing status. Randy is angry because he fears disrespect. Lynette is angry because she fears having nothing to hold. Those fears are driving them toward the edge, where one small detail an encounter witnessed, a ring dragged into daylight, an old secret named again. Advice misunderstood can topple everything in a domino collapse. And once the dominoes begin to fall, one villain will become another villain's victim, not because it is their job, but because of selfish personal choices. Because trust was placed in the wrong hands, and because schemes were built out of rage instead of reason.